Hello, truth seekers. This is your Conspiracy Laws host, JB. Welcome to episode 4. Today we're going to blow the lid off the government spending big money to hire actors to control the masses. So, the US government has always tried to keep a firm grip on the masses, whether it's in the US or abroad. Uh, of course, during wartime, they've got the endless examples of whether it was in Vietnam or anywhere, of the government dropping pamphlets to try to get the people in whatever country we're attacking to join our side, to believe in our beliefs. And now the government's become even more devious. They are hiring a huge percentage of Americans. Oh, from what I can tell, about 20% are somehow getting some sort of payment or being bribed to spout opinions, or both online and in person, um, just to push different opinions to make it seem like there's a consensus out there when there really is not. Um, I think it's important to look at the government's past mind control experiments. Perhaps one of the most famous ones is the Project MK Ultra, where the CIA was giving LSD to people unbeknownst to them, and just all sorts of different experiments and mind control that were going on. There were um, not necessarily mind control, but ways in which the just to demonstrate the levels of deviousness of our government, is the Tuskegee experiment, the syphilis experiments, which were just despicable. Um, you've got the many examples of the CIA spying, or the FBI spying on the American media. Um, there's the government poisoning alcohol during Prohibition. And as you can see, the list just goes on. Um, that I just want to give this example. The CIA has even been able to get high-profile people to join them in controlling the masses. One of the most famous examples is the Dalai Lama, who was uh, on the CIA's payroll in the 1960s, which is just wild to think about. But these days, the government has determined that they can use just about anyone to get their vice grip on public opinion. Uh, it's thanks to, I guess, the somewhat democratic media, social media outlets out there that give everyone a voice. The government sees this and they're like, well, it gives everyone a voice. How about we hire these everyones to be on our side and push what we believe, what we want the people to think and believe. And that's what they're doing right now. Um, the clearest example of this that you can see everywhere, is social media influencers. Whereas I said about 20%, mainly adults, 20% of Americans, we'll say 20% of adults, if I'm going to be specific about what my statistics and research are showing. 20% of adult Americans are actors for the government. This percentage is vastly higher with social media influencers. I'd say well over 50% are working with the government, to push the government, whatever the government wants them to push. So all of this, if you look with a critical eye at what social media influencers are publishing, they just slip things right in there. Most of the time, it's vacuous crap that kind of lulls you into like accepting what they say without much critical thought, and also to build their following. But occasionally they slip in like this stuff that makes to the untrained viewer or reader, you might be you might not even notice it, but to a member of the media such as myself, you, j- one ear goes up like, what's going on here? Um, I wanted to find some examples for you, so I just looked up some social media influencers. Um, this was on Instagram, and I guess one big, I think, designer fashion influencer is Zoe Sugg, and she was talking about how she loves her pug, and that she's happy she lives in a country where everything is great and continues to get better. Uh, it doesn't really go with anything else that she has said, but she just kind of throws that in there, like, oh, let's just be happy with how things are. What a great status quo. Let's just calm any anger we have um about what is being done to us. It's ridiculous. Massey Arias is a fitness influencer, and she shares her new workout and suggests we need to do this rather than worry about having health insurance. Um, what? Huh? Like how is working out regularly gonna help heal a broken leg or something like that? It's it's interesting. We all know that the health insurance industry in the U.S. is ridiculous, and I guess now they're gonna try to get rid of health insurance altogether and just kind of have us pay piecemeal. I don't. It's hard to understand what the government is trying to do here, but these are clear examples. These are people that I've been told, and that I've seen I've seen all these documents, payrolls really of the government, long lists of just people and how much they're being paid to spout different opinions to get us to be just gung ho about what's going on around us. It's disgusting. Um, you really gotta stop a second, ask yourself, are these thoughts I'm having my own? Anyway, I recently discovered that the TSA is a part of this. Um, they so they have first of all, there's tons of money going into the TSA, and government has seen this like wherever we give up some rights, the government sees an opportunity for them to tighten up their control of us. And so these machines that you see at the airport, it's not just doing a little x-ray of your body, it's thoroughly analyzing your brain, seeing if you're more more susceptible to being influenced by the government. They're seeing if you'd be a good agent for them. They can do that quickly, and this is that your your scan is being sent to a place off location, but then they communicate to the TSA agents and they're like, hey, this person needs more screening. Um, in this screening, it's not just searching your bag for more stuff. They, although if they do find something, then they have something to bribe you with. If they don't find anything and they see in their scans that, hey, you're a good person to have on our side to push our opinions, to shift public opinion. They may, that's the point where they may offer money. When they offer money, they also threaten and say, like, well, we've given you money. If you tell anyone about this, you and your family are dead. That's the sort of threats they make. If they find anything in your luggage, then right there they have something to blackmail you with. Um, and a lot of the stuff that they have you spout as part of their public opinion control is pretty innocuous. So most people go along with it without much to do. But also the threats help. Um, One post that an informant told me about was the government told them to post this on social media and occasionally say in person when politics came up, but they were asked to say, "I stopped following politics for my own sanity." That is like basically getting people to tune out. Um, Oh yeah, I'm getting upset when I think about politics, and it makes me want to cause change. So maybe I should just be less upset and not follow politics. It's depressing, but that's what more and more people are doing. Um, and the government is behind people doing that. It's part of the mind control. And end this episode at and that. If you have any questions or ideas, please comment below. Please support the truth by subscribing to the Conspiracy Laws channel and sharing the truth with your friends. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode about how the bed in a box companies have launched the current bedbug epidemic. In the meantime, think about what we've talked about today. We awake the world tomorrow.